Good morning, 6G6. I'm sorry I'm not here today to teach you guys. I am on the grade 7 spirit day trip, but you have Ms. Kagan here and she's going to take over for me for today, and I expect to get a glowing report from her about your behavior. So you all have your sketchbooks in front of you. What I'd like you to do is turn to the third page of your sketchbook, which says Sketchbook Assignment Grade 6. We're just going to look at some of the details that are written there. First thing you need to know is that you are going to choose any of the ideas below and do your best to fill the page. What that means is I don't want teeny tiny little drawings. You should be trying to fill as much of one page as you can for each of these ideas. You are going to be completing at least 5 sketches by the end of the December break. So you have a lot of time to work on this. And because of that, we're actually not going to be using a lot of class time to work on the sketchbook assignment. You'll work on the sketchbook assignment when you finish things early, or when you have a supply teacher like today, or you're welcome to come in at lunch or take your sketchbook home to work on them at home if you would like. If you have some drawings that you're enjoying doing at home, you are welcome to then bring those drawings in on a separate piece of paper and glue them down in your sketchbook. So you must complete at least 5 by the end of the December break. You will receive bonus marks if you complete more than 5 by the deadline, but quality is more important than quantity. So I would rather see 5 sketches that you've put a lot of effort into rather than 10 that you've rushed through. You are not to remove any pages from your sketchbook. So if you have a drawing that you've made, let's say, of a unicorn, and you're finding that it looks like a dolphin for some reason, you're not to rip that out of your sketchbook. You need to find a way to turn it into something that works for you. So you may want to erase it and try again. And I love seeing eraser marks on the page. That shows me that you've put in a lot of effort. You may want to do some collage and just cut out some things and glue it on top of your drawing that you don't like. Or you may want to take a piece of goose paper and glue that on top of the drawing. You must find a way to turn it into a beautiful oops, a beautiful mistake. And we're going to read that book together next time I'm here, but I'm going to leave it on my desk in case you'd like to have a look at how you can turn a mistake into a beautiful oops. So you can use a variety of materials for your sketchbook assignment, including pencil crayons, markers, crayons, or collage as well. The National Geographic magazines are on the bottom shelf of the bookshelf behind the door, and you can use any of those magazines cutting things out if you'd like. For example, perhaps for number 34, which is peace, you would want to cut out all sorts of different things from a magazine that mean peace to you. I want to point out number 58 is anything you'd like. So if there's nothing on the list here that appeals to you, you can do an anything you'd like. Also, you can do 5 different anything you'd likes as your sketchbook assignments. Same goes for something else. If you want to do number 8 and draw a piece of furniture, and you really like drawing furniture, you can draw 5 different pieces of furniture and have each of those be one of your sketchbook assignments. Please make sure that for each sketchbook assignment, you're putting the number, which sketchbook assignment number it is, in the corner of your page, as well as the date. Here's an example of Oodles of Doodles, number 18. You can see this student has just spent a whole bunch of time doodling all over her page. Here is a giant ice cream sundae, which is one of the options, and you can tell that it's giant because of that crane lifting the cherry. Next, we have an interesting robot. What works about this robot is the student has really put the time in to use a ruler and make sure it's neat. Here's another example of Oodles of Doodles, and you can see this student has just filled up the page with squiggles and hearts and any sort of other shapes that she felt like drawing as she was doing this particular assignment. I would prefer if the whole page was filled. Here we have an example of what's inside my locker. Now, what needs to be worked on with this drawing is detail. There is no detail or hardly any detail, and the student has not used a ruler. Let's look at a better example. You can tell that this student has put a lot more effort into the work. Firstly, it's got a lot of color, but secondly, it's got a lot of detail, and that really helps the drawing. So whichever sketchbook assignment you choose, please make sure that you include as much detail as possible. Remember that we have the How to Draw books on the bookshelf behind the door. You can use any of those books that you like, and we have tons of different kinds of how to draw books. You can also use the 2 computers that are in front of the chalkboard, and you can look up how to draw specific things. Just keep this in mind. If you are drawing something, it should have a lot of detail. So for example, if you're going to choose to draw a robot, number 3 on the sketchbook assignment, I don't want to simply see a bunch of boxes not drawn with a ruler. That is a boring, boring robot. My robot is an advanced robot. My robot has hair made out of Twizzlers. So when I'm hungry, I can break off a piece and a new one will grow in its place. My robot would have been created properly with a ruler. My robot has a TV on its tummy that shows me all of my favorite TV shows. My robot's feet are actually brooms so that while it walks around my apartment, it's cleaning up for me. My robot has all sorts of different buttons, and each of those buttons does different things. So next to my robot, I'm going to explain what those buttons do. The square button makes me dinner. The triangle button cleans. The circle button writes my report cards for me. Okay, those are just a couple of examples of how you can make your drawings more detailed, give it a little bit more character.